I think football IQ is one of the most difficult things to develop, and most players don't fully understand just how much it can impact your game. You've probably seen it yourself. A player who doesn't look physically impressive, he's not that fast, he doesn't dribble like Neymar or have the strength of Haaland, but somehow, every time he steps onto the pitch, he dominates the game effortlessly. Players like Pedri, Thomas Müller and Busquets are perfect examples. They're not the flashiest or strongest on the field, yet their intelligence, positioning, decision-making and anticipation put them ahead of everyone else. But what exactly is football IQ, and how do you actually improve it? Because trust me, every scout, every coach and every top-level team values an intelligent player more than anything else. In this video, I'm going to teach you the most effective method to genuinely develop your football intelligence so you can finally become the player every coach dreams about. The first extremely valuable tip I'm going to give you to boost your football IQ is analyzing full matches. And stick with me throughout the video because I'll show you exactly how to analyze matches based on your own position, starting from defenders and working our way up the pitch. Alright, first things first, head over to footballia.net, log in, or create a free account. Then search for a standout player who excels in your position. For example, let's say you're a defender. You might start with a legendary figure like Paolo Maldini. In this case, I chose AC Milan versus Juve, but it's better to choose matches after the 2000 because the quality is low before. Here's what to look for if you're playing as a defender. Once you start watching the match, I want you to pay close attention and pause the video every time Maldini is about to make a pass, start a tackle, or gets involved in an action. Once you start watching the match, I want you to pay close attention and pause the video every time Maldini is about to make a pass, start a tackle, or gets involved in an action. Now, before playing again, I want you to predict exactly what you think Maldini will do next. Will he pass to a teammate nearby or send a long ball forward? Will he step aggressively to challenge or hold his position and contain? Then ask yourself honestly, what would I have done in that same exact situation? Write this down. Next, resume the video and watch closely to see what Maldini actually did. Notice carefully why he chose that action. Was it because of the striker's positioning? Did he see a teammate you didn't notice? Or was he thinking steps ahead of the opponent? If your choice was different, take a second to reflect and note down, why did Maldini choose differently? Was his decision better or worse than yours? Why? What did he see or consider that you missed? Now let's see how Maldini positions himself in the defensive phase. Alright, now let's break down this situation. Here we have Maldini marking Zlatan. This is a crucial moment because Zlatan is one of those strikers who becomes incredibly dangerous once he's allowed to turn and face the goal. Pause the video right here. What do you think Maldini will do next? Take a second, guess, and write it down. Notice how Maldini stays extremely tight. He doesn't give Zlatan even a single centimeter of space. He maintains constant physical contact, but he doesn't foul him. Maldini knows very well that the most dangerous thing he could do right now would be to allow Zlatan to turn and start dribbling toward goal. So instead, Maldini is patient, disciplined, and perfectly balanced in his stance. He is never flat-footed. He has one foot forward, and he is always ready to run in case of danger. Play it again slowly, and you'll see Zlatan trying to play the ball to the winger who's cutting inside. But Maldini anticipated exactly that. He doesn't reach in to steal the ball from Zlatan because in this position, when the striker has his back to the goal, he's limited. The striker's only viable option is to pass backward or sideways, which poses no immediate threat. What Maldini does brilliantly here is that he waits, giving his teammates just enough time to reposition. Then, as soon as Zlatan attempts the pass, Maldini smoothly steps in and intercepts the ball. This is a perfect example of high football IQ defending. It's patient, calculated, and intelligent. And that's exactly what you should replicate when you find yourself marking a striker with his back to the goal. Stay close, deny the turn, don't foul, wait for that predictable pass, and step in at exactly the right moment. Now let's take an example of analysis for a fullback. Let's take a more recent example this time, the match between Aston Villa and PSG, and analyze Hakimi's great performance. In this scenario, Hakimi's position is perfect because he is maintaining an ideal balance between pressing the player with the ball and covering potential passing options. He's positioned diagonally, slightly inward, not too close nor too far from the opponent. Most amateur fullbacks would fully press the opponent, letting a lot of space behind for the striker so he can cut like this. So right here, Hakimi is blocking passing lanes and also getting closer to the ball without giving a lot of space. Notice also the stance, not flat-footed. He is closing the center with the left foot and ready to explode in the opposite direction. He also maintains the team's overall defensive shape, not getting dragged out wide unnecessarily. Let's see in the build-up phase. Here the most obvious thing Hakimi can do is to spread out as much as possible and lower himself. So stop here and predict how he will move. In this frame, notice how Hakimi is positioned perfectly to see everything around him while receiving the ball. He's not stuck facing only backward. Instead, he's positioned diagonally on the sideline, allowing him to scan both behind and in front effortlessly. Now, I've paused this exact frame to analyze where he'll likely direct his first touch. Considering his position and awareness, I predict Hakimi will simply take a safe, controlled touch without unnecessary risk, right on the spot or slightly forward along the sideline. The reason is simple. The opposition is not aggressively pressing him yet, so he doesn't need to force any play immediately. Now let's see what touch he makes. Now the safest pass would be to give it back to Marquinhos, because as you can see from the frame above, he was pressed by the defender, but nothing prevents him from passing it to the midfielder. This pass is a balanced choice. Although the midfielder receiving this pass will probably be pressed instantly and may have to give the ball back to the defense, he still achieves a valuable result. He draws the opposing players out of their positions. Now let's see an attack phase. Here Hakimi is not defending because he has not recovered from the counter-attack but does not need to return because he is covered by Kvara. In this specific scenario, Hakimi could have moved towards the wing because, as you can see, the central area is already occupied by his teammate. Usually, when making these runs, it's good to provide width to stretch the opponent's defensive line. However, Hakimi chose a different approach. He intentionally ran centrally, probably anticipating a second ball opportunity. He understood that a potential contrast or deflection was likely, giving him a perfect chance to quickly react and potentially score. And that's exactly what happened here. He also knew that defenders wouldn't expect that. Now, I could continue to do the analysis for each position, but that is not the purpose of the video. Tell me in the comments if you would like to see more such videos. The next method to dramatically increase your football IQ is something I've been emphasizing a lot in my videos, and that is playing more futsal and small-sided games. If you've watched my previous videos, you already know the reason behind this. Football IQ is about making the right decision at the right time without even needing to consciously think about it. This is exactly what futsal and small-sided games train you for. First, let's talk about the tight spaces. In futsal, you're constantly under pressure, forced to navigate tight spaces. You must make split-second decisions or lose possession. This continuous pressure trains your mind to recognize patterns of play at a higher frequency. What happens here is that your brain begins to recognize these scenarios as familiar patterns, and instead of thinking consciously, you instinctively know what to do. This is exactly how you elevate your football IQ, by training your instincts through constant exposure to tight and challenging scenarios. But let me introduce you to something even more powerful: intelligent instinct. It's a combination of natural instinct and conscious intelligence. Intelligent instinct is deliberately training your brain to recognize specific game scenarios quickly and accurately. In small-sided games, you repeatedly encounter similar situations, overlaps, quick give and goes, rotations, and rapid defensive transitions. Each scenario becomes a pattern your brain learns to identify, predict, and react to instinctively. The more often you face these situations, the more deeply ingrained they become in your mind. After hundreds of repetitions, you clearly see it before it even happens. This takes us directly to the concept of flow state. Playing futsal and small-sided games consistently puts you into a state of flow because these formats naturally match your skill and challenge level. They're challenging enough to require your full attention, but they're still enjoyable, creating a perfect mental environment. When your brain enters flow state repeatedly, your subconscious mind becomes stronger at analyzing patterns. This further boosts your football IQ. Now, for this video, I've said enough. But remember, your football IQ won't improve by just watching videos. You have to get out there and apply it. So download my free ebooks about flow state and fascia training linked in the description. And don't forget to hit the protocol and take action.